It's been a while since we chatted last. What do I want to say? Well, a lot's happened in the world. A lot of people didn't listen to their king and aren't paying the price for that now. Anyway, so what happens when people worship their egos? They get lost in outer space and forget the purpose of their lives and where their loyalties lie, or they don't have any loyalties really. Yeah, the United States has successfully destroyed every loyalty that she built up over the last 250 years in the last 10. Christ, I thought Biden did a blistering job of things, but Trump, he just managed to alienate the whole fucking world. You know, in 10 minutes flat. First thing, 300-year-old alliances, the drop of a hat. See, get rich quick is what he wants. China, on the other hand, has gone through all kinds of different growing pains. She had 100 years of humiliation, which I can't find a whole lot of fault for her getting, even with a little bit today with regard to Venezuela. You have to remember that those folks did opium upon her and her citizens quite handsomely for a good big period of time, which is shameful in and of itself. When one thinks about the reasons men have gone to war with each other, are basically so the biggest bullies from different lands could buggerfuck each other with impunity. They could lose half their population, but their persons were sacrosanct. Even Napoleon, when he was caught red-handed by the British and subject to St. Helena, he was still given the courtesy, arguably by Napoleon, bare courtesy to a fallen monarch. But the British never really regarded Napoleon as, of royal blood. He's basically a smart guy peasant who got lucky here. The British. The Spanish are beginning to intrigue me, especially with this generation of the royal family, the two sisters. Up the house for girls that young. Be clear that they have a duty of service to their fellows. They're living a privileged life and they're going to make a difference in every which way they possibly can for their fellow citizens. In the USA, you're entrapped servants. You're deplorables that elite barely tolerate. It's quite okay to steal from deplorables. They would know what to do with wealth anyway. There's no point in risking any with them. I like to have some idea what I'm going to talk about before I start jabbering off. But this is my first tape, my first video, my first CD, whatever. It's a long time. Just trying out my sea legs and see what happens. I should let you know that I really am your king of all kings, past, present, future. That's the future that kind of really gets under my skin. I like to think that it'll be lots better than you come along, but anyway, the next 1,000 years are the best you're going to get. And I have 200 of the most beautiful wives any man has ever dreamed of. That I could never have dreamed of them. I wouldn't have the courage to find myself daydreaming of them myself. They had to be given to me by my God and our High Queen today. and the High Queen in Waiting are both individuals who sacrificed their preceding lifetime, both under the age of 30 at the time, in order to be with me, here with you today. And they're here with me as predicted. As our High Queen told me, wait for me, I'll be back for you. I had no idea she was planning to take her life the whole time that I spent with her. She was a him at the time. To fulfill the prophecy that God spoke to me when I was 4 years old. So, I like, but yeah, I didn't quite tell you who it was. He says, what do you think of that? What do you think about a good little Catholic? A nice little Jewish boy got together and did something nice for this world. Yeah, I mean, and forgot all about it over time. One of those moments when I'm in here. In any event, when I'm 11 years old, I meet this individual who's doing a Tom Sawyer play in the boonies. I was in the boonies. To make a long story short, I fell in love with this boy. I didn't know that's what it was. Like, just the action. Can I go away with you and your actors? I can learn how to act too. And so he got toyed with me for the whole afternoon, about 4 hours. Maybe 5. Anyway, he said, no, you come and see me in New York City when you're 18. And so I didn't bother waiting until I was 18. I arrived when I was 16. Not looking for him, but I knew I was looking for somebody, but I had no idea who it was. Anyway, there's going to be 8 million people. Who do I stumble into other than our High Queen and our High Queen in Waiting today? Which comes to shove, both of them take their lives. One on the phone to me, and one I found out from her mother that she'd taken her life 6 months earlier. When I first got the angry to call her. Anyway, there's another whole long story in this. Suffice it to say, I recognize our High Queen as fulfilling her promise being back here for me today about 23 years ago. 20 years ago. And what I didn't expect was a High Queen in Waiting to come along too. And I had to wait for her. I'm so very glad I did. And today, she is first among our wives. And she's 16 years old today. I've known her for 57 years. What do you think of that? So, you can never tell what's going to happen in life. I'm 75 years old. I'm engaged to be married. I am married, actually, to a 16-year-old girl. Several of them, actually. But one, above all of it, this time I saw her before this lifetime, she curtsied to me, spoke the most beautiful music into my ear. I can't remember the lyrics. I never forgot. I was devastated when she took her life right on the heels of my guy Howard Jamie here. And they're both back here for me today, as promised. As God promised they would be. lot of use for you. This will have to get through now. You can keep like pushing speaking to you.